Today marks the day 900 of the build, and I cannot believe that we have come this far. During these past 900 days, I've only had one goal, and that was just to keep making progress, no matter how small it seemed each day. We often overestimate what we can achieve in 1 year, and yet underestimate what we can accomplish in 5. So our long-term goal has been always to build the best house possible and share every step of the journey with you. So if you ever find yourself building your own home, you can learn from what we did right and also avoid the mistakes that we have made along the way. Now it was time to build the last interior wall of the house. This is the wall that separates the laundry room from the mechanical room. The mechanical room is often overlooked, but it's probably the most important room in the entire house, at least in this house. In our case, it will literally be the lungs, the heart, and the brain of the home. It will house the entire off-grid battery system, the inverter, and the solar controllers. It will also contain all the equipment for the air recirculation system, as well as all the equipment for the water system. So from this little room, I will be able to control absolutely everything. After gluing the bottom tracks and letting the glue cure, I started framing the wall. By the way, I decided to glue it because we have radiant floor heating inside the floor, and I was just not going to risk drilling pipes just to secure the wall to the ground. I used steel profiles of 70mm width, and after a few minutes I had the whole wall assembled and ready to be cladded. I needed to cut wood and decided it was time to change the blade. This old blade has already 5 years, it's the same one that came with the machine, and we have built the cabin and the workshop and this house with it. So I guess spending 30 euros on a new one is about time. I decided to add this wood on the sides of the door. I will be building a custom door with hidden hinges, so having a wood blocking on the sides helps later to assemble the door. This is a detail that we did in the States very often when we work with light steel framing, so it's nothing new for me. Drilling through wood into steel has its technique. I mean, it's not rocket science, but you basically need to drill counterclockwise through the wood until you hit the metal, and then clockwise through the metal. If you don't do that, then the screw catches on the wood and separates the wood from the steel, and it's a little bit of a mess. I decided to reinforce the connection with MS glue. and the screws. So I unscrewed the whole thing and applied the glue and screw it back in place. That way I can secure that the wood and the metal are solidly held together. This wall needed to be strong enough to support any loads that might be attached to it in the future, which is why I used double layer drywall to clad it, but instead of using 2 layers of drywall, the first layer is going to be OSB 15mm, which ensures it's strong enough to hold just about anything. I screwed the OSB directly to the steel every 10 centimeters or so. And now I went to cut the drywall, and yes, I am going to be cutting drywall with my Plunge saw. So all the keyboard warriors, please lift your hands until I explain myself. I know this is probably the first time in your life that you see someone cutting drywall with a Plunge saw, but this blue drywall is a special drywall that is extremely hard to cut, fireproof, soundproof, extra resistant to impacts, and it weighs almost double than regular drywall. And I tested cutting it with an X-Acto knife, just like you do for regular drywall, and it was just bad in all senses. It was hard to do, not very accurate, and very time consuming, and I already had the Plunge saw out, and the blade is an old one, so I decided why not to test it out, and oh my god, it is absolutely perfection. Perfect straight cuts for every cut, with 100% accuracy and with extremely clean edges. So a love story was made, and me and my Plunge saw began the journey of perfect drywalling. For this house we have decided to create all the details in drywall, so every nook, every corner, every door frame will feel continuous, made of drywall, and this profile is basically used to reinforce drywall corners, as drywall itself is brittle and you will break it, for example if you kick it accidentally or hit it with a vacuum or something like that. I decided to buy an aluminum one, and you can easily cut it with any scissors and then goes stapled to the corners, reinforcing that corner. Here is how it came out, all ready for mudding and taping. I might have gone crazy with the numbers of staples that I used, but that corner profile will be there for life. For this task I decided to use the fiberglass tape for all the connections, except for the interior corners where I use paper tape. While I was doing that corner, I received a new tool I bought for that specific task. It is this corner tool that you use to apply matte in the corners, and it's much faster and easier than with a regular drywall knife. After letting it all dry for a day or so, I went ahead and sanded the whole thing, making sure everything was smooth and nice. Then I cleaned off all the dust with a wet rag and painted the wall. Now I went ahead and installed the soundproofing membrane around the pipe that is inside the mechanical room. You have seen me using this material already. To be honest, it's not a big deal to have water noise in the mechanical room, as it will be a loud room already, with all the machines working and everything. But I had material left over, and I guess the less noise I have in the room, the less potential noise I can hear from the living room. I left the roll in the sun so it would get warmer and activate the glue, but it was still not sticking to the pipe, so I used my heat gun to warm it up before gluing it to the pipe. We received this order right on time. Basically all the work that I have shown in this video until now is just so I could install this product. Alright, as you guys know, I am building my off-grid house, and one of the biggest challenges is how to store all the energy from my solar panels. I'm gonna be installing 36 solar panels, and I have been checking out different battery systems, and one that really caught my eye is the EcoFlow Delta Pro Ultra X. It is designed for whole home power, reliable backup, and smart home integration, all the stuff that I actually need and want for my house. What is impressive is how fast it can be installed. The entire installation process takes around 7 days. No rooftop work is needed, and there is no hidden cost, and it is modular and relocatable. You can actually do it yourself and set panels in your yard, or use the EcoFlow certified electricians anywhere in the US. The system grows with your needs. That's a big difference compared to traditional systems that take months to relocate in case that you move homes. This system isn't just for a few lights. It can run your whole house, even a 5-ton AC, heat pumps, or even EV chargers for your car. It has a smooth startup, longer appliance life, and no soft starters are needed. You start with two 12 kilowatts battery packs and can expand to up to 180 kilowatts hour. It works with the EcoFlow or third-party generators for practically unlimited home backup, and you can recharge the battery up to 80% in just 1 hour, which is huge for off-grid living. Another feature that I love is the smart home integration. You can monitor and control circuits from your phone, and it predicts storms 12 hours ahead, pre-charges the batteries, and can shut off non-essential circuits to extend runtime. It also has voice integration and compatibility with other devices, which make it smarter than, for example, the Tesla Powerwall for home automation. Power is great, you know, but saving money is even better, and EcoFlow optimizes self-consumption with solar and AI to cut peak cost. In California, for example, estimated savings are around $6,000 a year with solar. And finally, it's safe EV-grade LFP cells, dual monitoring, 3-level safety, and the operation in extreme temperatures. For example, it auto heats in cold weather to use it safely, and also can be used up to 50 degrees. For off-grid living, reliability is non-negotiable, and this is just amazing. So, I mean, I'm still figuring out how I will integrate the EcoFlow Delta Pro Ultra X into my off-grid house, but it seems like a solid solution, you know. It's fast installation, whole home power, smart integration, big savings, and top-notch
top-notch safety. It checks all the boxes that I'm looking for, and if you're building an off-grid house or you want a reliable smart home energy solution for your house, this is definitely worth looking into it. You can check it out by yourself. Just click the link in the description to see all the details.
Alright, with all the walls of the mechanical room finished, it was study time. Over the weeks leading to this date, I made dozens and dozens of sketches, and I searched all over the internet and all the information I could find of different way I could lay these pipes inside the room. Basically it has many different pieces, from filters to different fittings, but I will show everything to you soon. For now it was time to install the box I just received, and for that I needed to drill the freshly built wall and install very heavy duty anchors. The water heater that we are about to install weighs around 50 kilograms empty, but it has a capacity of 200 liters, so once it's filled with water, it will be a load of around 250 kilograms hanging from the wall. So you can see now why I decided to add a layer of OSB behind the drywall all around the mechanical room.
¿Y qué hay? Chao.
Diego, tú ven. Escúchame.
Para arriba.
Arriba,
Ya.
¿Va a tener que subirte en la escalera?
No.
Yo la agarro. Mano, yo la agarro. ¿Qué estás haciendo con eso, Guilla?
Hay que separarlo. Se ve. No, a izquierda. Ya.
¿Me he echado?
Sí.
¿En los cuatro?
Sí.
Holy fuck. Bye.
I just realized that the other side of the wall, the one that is seen from the living room, was still not cladded with drywall, so I went there and filmed the anchors from the back so you can see them. Since I was already doing this type of installation, I went ahead and installed the expansion tank of the heater. That way I can start removing boxes from the building site that are just laying around, and I make progress by getting one more item crossed out from my to-do list. An expansion tank is needed because when water heats up, it expands and the tank absorbs that extra pressure, so basically to protect the pipes and fittings and the heater from damage or leaks. You can also use a security valve, but then the security valves, what it does is just that it opens when the pressure increases and you leak water, so you are basically throwing water down the drain. And instead of doing that, the expansion tank can hold the water inside and absorb that extra pressure. You should get one that is roughly 5% of the volume of your heater. I mean, you should check what your heater says. In our case, our heater is 200 liters capacity, so we went for a 12 liters expansion tank, which is exactly 6%. Alright, now it was turn for the manifolds. These manifolds are from Uponor and they connect to the Uponor multi-layer pipes that I installed in the previous episode. I applied sealing cord and tightened everything nicely, and since I don't trust screw connections with water very much, I decided to test it out before installing them. Basically because once it's installed and in place and attached to the wall with all the pipes attached to the manifold, it will be very hard to fix a possible leak. So I went ahead and attached the manifold to the pressure testing machine, and as you can see, there was a small leak. You can see the drop forming there. So I went ahead and redid all the connection and tested it again and left it at 10 bar pressure for a few hours. Alright, so yesterday I was able to install all the 3 collectors. So this is going to be the hot water one, and one for cold water, and a second one for cold water because we have 4 different circuits. I didn't have time yesterday to film. The cold water is gonna go up to this T and then feed this collector and then go up and feed the other. I don't have much space here, so I decided to bring the hot water over here from the heater, and I will have a valve, a shutting valve somewhere close so I can shut it off in case of an emergency from the bottom without needing a ladder. But in case that I want to close, for example, one of these circuits, I just need to go in a ladder and close one of the circuits. For example, this is the hot water for the kitchen, so I will just grab one of these. I will screw them and put labels in them, but right now I just have one knob that I keep switching. But you put this one and then you screw it there and it stays there. And now I need to decide what each of these valves will be each circuit. So I will need to have all the pipes here waiting. As you can see, I have one there, one there, one there, another one there, and then I need to put 2 more. So I will just start feeding them and see where it makes more sense. As you can see, I had to move this one forward a little bit, so I have a space in the back to feed the pipes for this manifold, because if I put them both at the same level, then I wouldn't be able to fit this second one. These two guys are the manifolds for the house. Here, as you can see, it's in Spanish though, but it's bathroom from the hallway, master bathroom.
Kitchen, that's the wall, in the kitchen, the back wall, that's the kitchen island. And then we have laundry, and the powder, and the workshop is just showing 20.
And then I left these two empty. Right now they're closed, so I don't need to close the top. I'm just closing the valve here and here. They're gonna be solidly closed. Solidly installed, as you could see, it doesn't move. And this is the manifold for the hot water, the kitchen island, master bathroom. One of these actually is going to go water for the rooftop that is gonna go over there. So if I need to clean up the solar panels, I have a tap on the rooftop. And then I also installed this pipe, as you could see. This is the return pipe for the hot water, so it's insulated and it will go down to a recirculating pump. But before that, I left it hanging there for me to do the pressure test. And by the way, I'm not too sure what temperature should I set it up for the hot water, because the heater goes up to, I think, 65 degrees Celsius. I think I'm gonna set it up to like 55, and then the recirculating pump will have a thermostat that will power on the pump at, I think, at 50, 52, something like that. So whenever the water inside the pipe goes below 50 or 52, it will start moving the water. But you're gonna waste a lot of energy and waste a lot of money, but everything is gonna be run by solar panels. So I will not be, it's just free energy, and having always hot water available at the showers, I think is very good. I will also turn that off at night and maybe turn it on again at like, 5 a.m. or something like that. So when we wake up at like 6:30, the water is already hot at the showers. This took a few days, but I didn't film everything because I needed to actually finish this bathroom, the powder. And then, as you can see, Evgenia and I took those two pipes all the way through that ceiling, through the exterior passage, and took it all the way to the workshop. And right now it's not finished. I need to secure it to the ceiling, but I will do that tomorrow because I'm extremely tired now. Today was a long day and it was also very hot, and I need some rest. Alright, I am ready to do the pressure test. That is why I have hooked up here my main hose of our property to this pipe. But now what we're gonna be checking is all the connections that we have done that are going to be inside the walls. So we will not have access to them in the future. So we want to make sure that they are 100% leak proof. For example, all these connections are going to be exposed, so if they leak at some point, it's not a big deal. Regardless of that, I am going to be double checking them too. But now making sure that everything is closed, I'm gonna open up that valve over there, so water is gonna get up to here, and this is closed. I'm gonna double check if there is some leaks with the pressure of the grid, so which is like 3 bars, 3.7, 3.5 depending on the day. And then I will open this guy and water will go inside the manifold, and I will check if there are leaks here, at some point somewhere. If there are not, then I will open this first valve and I will fill the hot water of the workshop and the powder room, and we'll make sure that there are not leaks anywhere. And that is just to feel the system and check visually if there is, you know, something very loose. If something is leaking at 3 bars, then probably you have made a mistake and you didn't, you know, press a fitting or something like that, which I doubt, but it could be. So, but here the idea is to fill the whole system with water and with no air, and check visually if there are any leaks. Hopefully there are none. And after that I will close, and then I will use this machine to pump pressure and put it at around 5 bars and see if the pressure drops. If the pressure doesn't drop in like 2 hours or 3 hours or so, then we're fine. Uponor recommends doing this a little bit differently. So if you're using Uponor pipes like I am, maybe you don't want to follow my advice and want to do however the manual is telling you. But my problem is we have these fancy built-in parts from SIA Design. They guarantee everything up to 5 bars, so I cannot pressure test like Uponor is saying, which is 10 bar. For the house, for example, I will pressure test at 10 bar everything up to the built-in parts. So when I get to the bathroom, I will close the main valve and pressure test everything at 10 bar. And then I will remove the pressure to 5 bars and open the valve so I can pressure test all the built-in parts from SIA Design up to 5 bars. And that's how I will do it. So it's gonna take me probably the whole day if everything goes well. No leaks here, so water just reached here. And now I think I'm gonna do it with you guys here. Let's see. All right, no leaks for now. I'm gonna open the workshop slash powder room. All right, no leaks here for now. And no leaks here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it again and then come back here and open this faucet on a bucket and let the water go through the whole system. Right, now I am again at the sink that will be in the workshop, and there is water up to here and a lot of air in the system. So you hear that? That's not water, that's just air going through the pipes. They already look absolutely perfect. So this circuit is now filled. I will do the same with the next circuit. All right. Remember when I said that there was no that there was no possible way that I left one of the fittings unpressed? Well, I was wrong. You can see it's leaking very much. All right, and then I was like, what the hell? I was sure that I pressed everything, so maybe, can you see the sticker that tells you that you didn't press it? That's why this sticker is very good, man. I forgot to press this guy. Alright, doesn't seem that there are leaks, so everything good now. Anyways, I'm gonna continue. If something else comes up, I will film it. Now I need to make sure that there is no air here, so I'm gonna remove this piece of the built-in part from SIA Design and open it up. I leave water go through the system, so I remove all the air. And now I'm gonna go to the other bathroom and do the same. Right now we have water up to here and up to here with the hot water, this black pipe, and no leaks. I'm gonna leave it like that, and later on I will pressure test it. Alright, I'm here in the last bathroom. This is the bathroom that is in the corridor. This valve here, this lever here is for this valve, this opener valve. So I'm gonna open now the system. Right now we have water up to here, and here is a stop. Alright, now I have pressurized the system at 5 bar. I don't know how many psi is, like 90, something like that, 80. And the idea is just to leave this unbothered like this for like a couple of hours and see if it drops. Right now it doesn't look like it's dropping at all, so that's very good. And then I will close the valves that isolate everything from Zia design, because we cannot go any higher than 5 bars. And then I will put it to 10 bar to see if everything else is good at 10 bar. I wish I could do everything at 10 bar like opener requests, but it's just a risk. I don't want to break the Zia design built-in parts. It makes no sense whatsoever to do that. So I mean, it's looking so good. I cannot believe it, man. Cannot believe it. All right, I'm gonna walk around the house with the ladder to get close to every connection to see if anything is dripping. But you know, nothing looks like dripping. Looks very solid.